Giants preseason has officially happened, and the game against the Giants happened last night. I'll be perfectly honest. I've always said with preseason, I don't really give a rat's ass if we win or lose the games. It's more about player evaluation and testing and tuning and trying some stuff out, see what works and what doesn't before the regular season kicks off. So it's just really testing and tuning and getting warmed up and ready to go for Kansas City Week 1. But yeah, the game against the Giants happened, and I'll say this. There are a lot of positives from this game that came out. The defense played exceptionally well against the Giants. Offense really didn't get going until the fourth quarter, though. Like I'll, of course, go over some player highlights and, talk about a lot of the things, The first real positives from this game is Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs are both the real deals. Gibbs had a couple good runs in the game. Brian Branch was very impressive in this game, just like he has been in camp along with Jahmyr Gibbs. Branch even laid a guy out in the first quarter on the Giants, just sent his ass straight to the shadow realm. Like, good Lord, Brian. That man had a family, damn it. But yeah, Branch and Gibbs are the real deal. Yeah, they've been very impressive this year. One thing that wasn't impressive was Nate Sudfeld in this game. Good Lord, Sudfeld was fucking trash in this game. Might as well call him Trashfeld, because he was garbage. He was the main reason why the Lions ended up in the hole early in the game. With both of his interceptions being throws to J-Mo. And both of them got picked off. Like, for anyone wondering why the hell the Lions assigned Teddy Bridgewater, well, Sudfeld's play in this game, it perfectly explains why. Sudfeld should be fucking cut after this game. He was fucking terrible. All I say to Nate Sudfeld is, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. And also in this game, the linebacking core looked very impressive in that open competition for the linebacker starting spot. Because right now there's a 3-person competition for the linebacker between Derek Barge, Jack Campbell, and Rodrigo. All three played pretty impressive in this game. It'll be very interesting to see who comes out on top in that. And I don't know, it could go to Jack Campbell, because Jack Campbell has been very impressive in training camp too. Because so far, the Lions' big 4 rookies from their draft class, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, and Brian Branch, all 4 have been very impressive so far throughout training camp. Sam Laporta didn't really do a whole lot, though, in this preseason game, but it's only 1 week of preseason, just getting his feet wet. I expect him to improve as the season progresses. But yeah, so far, Brad Holmes so far, he cooking really good too, so, just a great job for him there. The backup defensive line played well in this game. James Houston especially played well too. James Houston still showing that last year was no flash in the pan, and that he's still the real deal, and that he's a fucking beast. Like I say this, though, I think the Lions got some cooking, though, with their defensive line. With their pass rush with Hutchinson and Houston. Hutchinson didn't play in this game because obviously he's a starter, and most of the starters didn't even play in this game. It's mainly just second and third string guys and all the rookies, and, J-Mo also played because J-Mo's got that 6-game suspension coming up. But yeah, Broderick Martin also looked pretty impressive too, so there's that too. Maurice Alexander, he pretty much got the Lions back in this game as his 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. That was really the turning point of this game that got the Lions going. And then J-Mo, despite looking pretty off in this game, he was able to get that 2-point conversion to cut the deficit down to 2 and get the Lions back in the game. And J-Mo got that 2-point conversion when the broadcast had to step away for a second for a tornado warning announcement in the area. Oh. And no, that was not meant to be metaphorically. That was literally what happened. It had nothing to do with the crowd eruption at Ford Field at that moment. Also in this game, the Okwara brothers also both played impressively well. Both Joyner and Romeo. Both of them even got to play on the field together at the same time. And both of them did some damage in this game. Both of them combined for 4 sacks. Julian had 3. Romeo had 1. So both of them look pretty impressive too, as Romeo's looking to bounce back after he missed most of last season with an injury. And Julian trying to be impressive too. Chase Cota also looked impressive in this game. And then the offense, it didn't get going once until Sudfeld got benched and Adrian Martinez went in. And Martinez impressed very well in this game, the rookie. Especially in the fourth quarter. He looked very impressive too. Like I'll say right now, I think Adrian Martinez is easily right now should be QB3. Obviously, I would obviously want to say Hendon Hooker should be QB3, but Hooker can't play this year because he's redshirting. And Hooker's more of a long-term project, but, for the short run, Adrian Martinez will be a good third-string option. And who knows, maybe he can learn some things behind Jared Goff and Teddy Bridgewater. Two veteran QBs. And, of course, the last thing I got to say about this game is the crowd. It was like the Lions had a really good crowd for this game. It looked like a sold-out crowd from the looks of it for the game. And the way the crowd sounded and the energy from it, it kind of felt like a regular season game. With the way the crowd was in this game, you wouldn't have even known it was a preseason game. It felt more like a regular season game with how the crowd was and how electric it was. But no, it's only week 1 of preseason. But hey, that's pretty impressive too with the loyalty. Especially with the Lions, selling out season tickets for the first time in team history. This never happened. Something that never happened with Stafford, never happened with Sue, never happened with Megatron. I'm not 100% sure. It might have happened with Barry Sanders back when they were at the Silverdome. Someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong there, but still very impressive. The loyalty is there because everyone knows they can feel the electricity. They can feel what's coming this year for the Lions. Overall, even though the Lions won, it's okay, it's kind of a meaningless win. But the Lions were pretty impressive in this game. They look very impressive and they got the job done, especially against a Giants team that I think is going to be pretty competitive this year. Because for the Giants, I don't know if they're a playoff team, but I 100% think the Giants will be contending for a playoff spot this season. I think they're going to be part of that 4-horse team for that 7th and final playoff spot. Because I think for the wild cards, I think we got a good idea. It's probably going to be Dallas and Seattle for 2 of the 3 wild card spots. But that 7th one is wide open. But yeah, still, Lions played impressively well. A lot of players on the team impressed, especially a good chunk of the rookies. A lot of impressive things to like from this game, the win was just a bonus tonight. I'm more focused on player evaluation and seeing the team progress and improve throughout the game and seeing the growth there. But yeah, a lot of positives to take out of this game. Just remember, don't be a daft moron. Be a fan. Be a knowledgeable fan. Don't be a daft moron. That's the only lesson I'm going to take for you. Especially with the yearly reminder for preseason. Pick your side. Are you a fan or a daft moron? The choice is yours. But yeah, Lions got the win 21-16. Now on to week 2 of preseason for Jacksonville. But regardless if it's preseason or not, good to have Lions football back.